back with TV Recap. I'm Jack, and this is my guest Tori. You may know him from Tag Movie Reviews, and we're doing another episode of Knight Rider.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. You really liked the first one?
The day we watched it, I actually enjoyed it a lot. Honestly, I wanted to watch more, and I was hoping that I'd come back on the show just to watch it again.
Yeah.
So
well, here
we are.
Yep. And a Man of Steel.
Oh wait, it took me a while to figure that out.
So we're gonna watch the next episode, but also before we start, I want to plug. I've started a Patreon account for. I want to make you. Some of you who watch the show may remember for some Halloweens I did a show called Vigo Stein Reviews, and it would be like this vampire character who would review horror films. And now I want to develop this into an actual show. And kind of in the style of a Monster House show, you know, like Elvira, Joe Bob Briggs, or Grandpa Munster. And it will be called Tales from the Horror Vault. And I set up a Patreon account. The link will be in the description below. I'm trying to get $100 for the first episode, which will go all towards the making of the first episode. We want stuff like makeup and costumes, like
flying bats, blood.
Yeah, stuff like that. Well, like. We really want like fake bats, make it give off an Ed Wood kind of feel, with where you can see the strings. But check the link below, see if it's something you're interested in. If not, let's start this show. All right, let's go. Welcome back to TV Recap, and we just watched Knight Rider, Deadly Maneuvers. Deadly Maneuvers is the second episode in the Knight Rider series. Or third. It's about Michael Knight, and he's going down with Kit, you see, and Kit saying, the odds are that you're gonna fail this thing, you're gonna be killed, Michael, and Michael turns out not driving, he's playing a video game in a car.
That was hilarious.
And he dies, and
he dies?
No, I mean, he dies in the game. He dies in the game, okay. And it's like, good show, Michael. And he's like, shut up, kid. Okay, sir. And they're going for a mission, you see. And then all of a sudden, they come across this girl named Robin, I believe.
I think it was Robin.
Yeah, it was Robin. They stop to help her with her car. And her car's not working well. And they said, hey, we can tow your car to the base that you're going to, because she's a lieutenant. And we're going to drive you to this base. And because I'm already on my way there. Kit's like, Michael, I'm not a tow truck. Because according to Kit, that's like very indignant and liable to call it.
Yeah,
it's like a racial slur or something.
He's like, I'm not a tow truck. It's like calling you someone else like a redneck. So a tow truck. I don't know. So somewhere around that.
But what the real reason is because Kit, he can't carry that type of weight without it actually without it damaging something to him, which is weird because he goes through a lot of damage throughout the show, but whatever.
I guess towing a truck makes him destroyed more. It makes him broken.
Something like that. Then they get to the army base, and she finds out that, oh, we skipped over this. At the beginning of the episode, there was an elderly man who's working. An older gentleman who's working at the base, and he discovers that there's these missiles that have blue paint on them, and he's running away, and he's being chased off by these other soldiers, and then he drives away, but then he falls off the road. Yeah. So cut back to where we go.
The blue paint, it comes in handy towards the end, so remember the blue paint.
Right. Robin and Michael go to the base. Michael just tagged along. He didn't have to, but...
No, he just shows up, and he's just there throughout the whole entire episode.
That's the thing about the show. Michael has, pretty much every episode, whenever he comes across a situation like this, he doesn't have to stay, but he stays for the convenience of the show.
He just stands there, and while the actual episode is going on, he just stands in the corner going,
She comes across who she thinks is her father, but it's just another soldier, and then they're taken to General, right? And again, Michael just shows up into this private meeting, because so the general says, we're sorry, but your father died. He fell off the road when he was driving, and there's a funeral, and there was something that made you laugh about how
during the funeral?
Yeah.
Oh, so the general makes a funny he doesn't do it's not supposed to be funny yet. It's a funeral, but there was one moment where he goes and he comes in and he just pops you right in. And I'm like, what?
It was funny, his reaction. to that, so that was pretty good. But then,
meanwhile, okay, another thing too, Michael Knight, he's at the funeral, which he doesn't have to be at the
right, he
funeral.
doesn't have to be at the funeral.
But I mean, he shows up, he's all nice, and then right at the very end of the funeral, I like how he just like loosens his tie, and then he just stands there going.
Now keep in mind, a funeral takes a while to organize and all that, and she must have had some say, so he's probably there for a few days. Actually, he is, because he says at the end of the episode to Devin that he had to pay for a motel or something.
Yeah.
So Robin and Michael are discussing that maybe it was an accident. Like, how could a sober man who's gone on this road a whole bunch of times just fall off the road, drive off the road?
What was cool is he was testing out what would happen during that situation if the father would have blacked out. So he skid. And he landed perfectly against the side of the wall.
Oh yeah, this is when they go to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
And there's also like a shell casing there, and they think something happened, but meanwhile there's someone who's watching through binoculars, and it's General. And they're like, we're gonna have to organize another funeral. And so then what happens is they're just thinking about it, and the General and his lackey, we'll call him Earl, they're planning on killing Michael. And Michael, this is what happened next, right? Michael had to get a little bit more information on that. So what he did was Sandwich.
So
he was a cook who looks like a cross between Danny DeVito and John Belushi. And Sandwich is a guy who owns this sandwich and snack cart. And Michael keeps bribing him with money and to have it. And he's like, well, I need to pay for the chips.
But I need to pay for the pretzels. But I need to pay for the candy bars. Hey, $20 more, I could adopt you.
So that was good. And so the alibi is also, here's an extra money, so if anyone asks, I'm your nephew or your cousin, or something like that. And so Michael goes in as a vendor, and he's pretty much immediately taken in because he doesn't have a health card, of all the reasons. And so there's this guy, and they go through the whole routine. Oh, I don't believe you. I am who I am. I'm going to go check it out. And he leaves, and there's two lackeys there. And they're going through Michael's snack drawer, and all of a sudden there's a little file that talks about the father. The father. Michael slyly takes it away, and you were on the edge of your seat
because they went and get the candy, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, go ahead, take as much as you want." And as soon as they turn around, I'm like, "Get the file, get the file, get the file!" And I'm like, "Yes, he got the file. All right, cool."
He got the file, and he's being stalked by Earl. And Earl goes to his friends who are playing poker. He says, "We gotta kill this civilian."
Dun dun
there's dramatic music at that moment, and he gives the file to Robin, right?
Mm-hmm. He gives the file to Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives the file to Robin, and also they also went out to dinner, and they talked about how there's nothing abnormal that really happened to the father, and that if they don't really come up with any ideas in the morning, they'll just call it quits. Luckily for that, Michael Knight is almost killed by Earl's own thugs. Earl's a thug, and he has his own thugs, and they have like a rocket launcher or they have like a giant gun of some kind, and are trying to go shoot Michael Knight off the road. And meanwhile, Kid is just being smartass that he is and stuff like. What was it?
I know they're hitting us.
You know that they're hitting us, right? Are we gonna let them do that or something like that?
You're gonna let these people hit you originally, he's like, "Michael, I know you always. It seems like you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're just bringing in more bad people to kill us."
Yeah, he said something like that. He also was throughout the episode really angry. It's like where he was still angry about the tow truck thing. He's like, I don't feel emotions, but I never forget, Michael.
Yeah, and we also have to mention the fact that his hard wire or something when he was towing the thing, it actually broke, so he can't really do anything.
Michael doesn't want to do anything about it. He's like, Michael, if it was your hard wire, well, and he's like, oh right.
Yeah, but he can't do anything. A kid is pretty much useless except just driving around.
Right. So what happens is the next morning, Michael goes back to Robin and tells her that there is something that's going on, and he gives her the file to look at. And then what happened then? Do you remember?
I think what happened was afterwards. Then we introduced back the kid does something with a signal, and then we go inside the car.
Oh, we go see Devin again.
Yeah.
And Devin has this new female assistant. Now, the thing about the female assistant, because I have seen episodes of Knight Rider before, and I always forget her name, and she becomes like a main character. She was in the credits for this episode, and I thought they were going to do an introduction for her, and at first I thought Robin was going to be this person because the two actresses look similar. I thought this was like her origin, but they never introduce her in the story. She's just kind of like bumping, she's like, excuse me, trying to get around Michael.
Well, she was trying to, I think she's gonna fix Kid.
Yeah.
Because she's all like, oh, the only way you can break your hardwire is if if you're towing something.
And the Kid's like, no comment.
Oh man, that was...
Devin is upset because Michael had to go on an assignment before this, and so he's like, Michael, why are you not doing this?
Why are you not doing this, Mike? Would you listen to me first?
Yeah, would you?
Hear me out first.
And so he explains the situation, and Michael's gonna go about his merry way.
Right afterwards, he goes and searches, like where his father, Robin's father was.
Oh, okay.
Because then he ends up finding out about the blue paint.
And you explained this. You got this better than I did because it took me a while to get this, but then it started to make sense.
Well, the blue paint, what happened? Okay, so Michael Knight, he goes into where his father was.
Where Robin's father.
Robin's father was before, and he notices that there's these like warheads or like these missiles, and that he notices that they're all blue. But it keeps cutting back to these different colors, and these different colors
on a chart, yeah.
On a chart. So the blue means that it's armor piercing. But what happened was Michael Knight notices that there's something wrong with the blue paint. So he scratches it off and it's actually yellow. And if they cut back to it, and yellow means tactical nuclear weapons.
Right. And so what they're basically doing is this army base is selling to horrible bad people these weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction. Of course.
Of course. And so I was at first wondering, are they ripping, because I thought both are beneficial weapons for bad guys, so I wasn't sure if this was helping them or ripping them off. Like, oh, we want the armor piercing, but you're giving us nuclear missiles. What can we do with those?
Honestly, the nuclear, it's best of both worlds for anyone.
Yeah, whatever. And so Robin finds this out in the files, and she tells Earl, and Earl's like, I was evil the whole time, and so
wait, that's classified information. You're under arrest.
And so they put her in a tank on a testing zone.
Ground Zero, that's where the testing is with
all the stock footage.
With all the missiles and stuff. But meanwhile, before we even get to the whole Robin and the whole stock footage stuff, Michael Knight goes and he ends up finding out that Robin was kidnapped. Goes back to the missile base where they're putting all the missiles in a cart. And he tells them, where's Robin? And he's like interrogating them, and he's like with the gun in front of them.
Yeah.
And he goes, Ground Zero, that's where they're doing all the nuclear that's where they're doing all the testing at. So now he's gonna go and save Robin.
Right. And so they go there, and he calls the general who's there, and says, General, Robin is in the tank, you need to stop. And he's like, okay. Picks up the other phone. There's a drone, there's a black car drone, shoot it. Kill it,
Just
blow it
kill
up.
it.
And so General's evil, and Michael and I throw out invading stock footage and real footage of all these really cool things, and kids gets to act badass, trying to avoid all the stuff that's going on. And they make their way eventually to the tank.
If you notice at one point, they get to the tank, they save Robin. But if you noticed at one point when they do the heat-seeking missiles, there's a point in time where they send out heat-seeking missiles at Kid, because one, his car is like the only hot thing out there besides like the impacts of all the missiles.
Right.
But what he did was he did like the flamethrower.
Right.
So the flamethrower got like all like two missiles. But where's the third missile?
Sandwiches! Because there was a running gag about how the thermostat was not working in his sandwich cart, and then missile comes and blows up Sandwich's cart, which I don't think that's how it works, but
I think that works. And again, it's about a show about a talking car. So
Sandwich is probably the best. I love the side characters in this show. Like last time we had Evil Shaft and Mario.
Yeah, and now we got
Sandwiches.
Danny DeVito, John Belushi Sandwiches.
Exactly. And so eventually they get Robin out and they capture the general. and you think that Robin is gonna like punch him or slap him.
No, he just rips the medals out.
Rip the medals out. At first, it looks like Michael is gonna get in trouble, but then the White House calls, and Devin just snatches the phone from Michael. It's like, oh yes, it was part of my idea the whole time. Then the episode ends with Michael trying to get money out of Devin. Hey, I had to pay all this for this mission and so forth. And it zooms in. There's a little bumper sticker on K.I.T.'s car, and it's like, "Go Army." It just holds on that for a while.
And then credits.
And then credits. I really liked this episode. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, side characters are really fun, like sandwiches. I liked the general is okay. Earl, this little dorky kind of guy. He doesn't really do anything, but I was just having a blast looking at this kind of weird guy. Robbins was pretty cool.
I feel like the show's gonna get better from here on out. We had to just get through that whole
two-part.
Two-part ones.
There are two-parters in the show, but I think there are just more single ones.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna be more like what this episode was, then I feel like the show is just getting better from here.
Yep, and until we'll see more of Knight Rider on TV Recap, and until then, this is Jack and Tori signing out.